Let's try and understand fear, because it is important to understand it. Whereas most of us are trying to either control or trying to get rid of it. But the question is, how can you get rid of something you have not created? Fear is not a mistake that you can rectify. It is only through understanding of the fear that it loses its grip on you. So when we talk about fear, most of the times we remain superficial. Fear of being alone, fear of being underconfident, fear of not being able to perform, fear of losing a relationship, and to most extent, because we have read about it and we have consumed this knowledge through different means, we talk about fear of death as well, but it's all superficial. But truly, what is fear doing to you? Fear is not allowing you to trust, believe, and surrender to the natural flow of life. I would say a person who is fearless accepts completely where they are and in what state they are. Not through the mindset of scarcity that they internally believe that they are poor or they don't have something, but you know what, God will take care of it, but I know I don't have it. No, that's the mindset of hope. The mindset of belief, trust, and surrender is that I am where I am supposed to be. And I accept that I have no control over it. So I'm happy about whatever I have. And I know that it will only get better and better. Or something will happen. Life is an experience. That is being fearless, where you are able to surrender. But what is fear? If you think of it this way, fear arises through analysis of memory. And in a way, memory is like residue of experience. It's not important up until the mind wants to analyze the past experiences and create a best possible scenario that either should have happened or should happen. Now, going back, let's as an example, to understand why was it necessary for mind to process memory? How come fear generated? Let's just say that in ancient times, death was common. Predators would, you're the human being who's in the middle of the food chain, and you're weak in terms of ecosystem or the whole scenario of wildlife, and you see death everywhere. but in a way that you don't accept it as a part of life. Now, because the mind would start to think, mind got attached to existence. Mind got attached to this experience of existence. And when the mind saw that people lost those experiences in terms of people dying, and mind cannot understand what is that, what happens after that. It's so unknown, mind cannot calculate it. So something that the mind cannot calculate, something that the mind cannot understand, mind does not want it. So the mind started to label that as unwanted. The first, mind got attached with your own existence. Then the mind got attached with somebody else's existence. The attachments grew stronger and stronger. And when the death would come near of somebody that you're attached to, mind took it as something very unwanted, an unpleasant experience. So naturally, mind would be like, how do I avoid it as much as possible? In the avoidance of it, the mind would start to calculate experiences. As an example, let's say in the earlier times, the mind would start to calculate the patterns of the predators in order to be more prepared so that you don't get hunted by it. These analysis would only be possible if the mind could develop a skill to remember clearly and to use memory in complicated ways. So when the mind started to use memory to analyze in order to protect, the mind naturally started giving importance to memory a lot more than the experience of the now, because the experience of the now is only essential as it results in memory. And it's only the analysis of memory that mind now believes you can be alive with. But with the analysis of memory, for an initial sole purpose to protect, to save, to prevent, let's just say that kind of generated a virus. The fear and desire are so interrelated. The desire to be alive and to see your near and dear ones alive for as long as possible and be attached to you generated fear. That what if you're not able to? And it started a spiral or a circle that now the fear, what if you are not able to further give birth to more desires? Now, in terms of current realities, as an example, The fear of being alone generates a desire of having a companion. The desire of having that you want a companion generates a fear. What if you're not able to get a companion? In the dance of fear and desire, something else takes birth, again through memory. And it's all happening in the memory, which again is a residue of existence, as in the ashes of fire. So the third thing that it started to give birth to is comparison. Continuing the example, the mind fears loneliness, hence it desires a companion. But now, with the experience of life, you experienced different companionships in different people. That gets stored in mind as a memory, and mind, being attached to the process of analysis, would start to analyze, yes, I want a companionship, but what kind of companionship? Do I want this or do I want that? Now I have a companionship, but I don't have something that the other person has. Comparison. Now the dance, the spiral, the circle becomes more stronger. Because in that circle, now the comparison has added its energy to it. So earlier, when it was just fear and then desire, and then the desire and the fear are dancing, now it gave birth to another thing, which is comparison. And unless you consciously stop it, unless you stop living from the core of the residue of experience, you will be never able to enjoy the experience. Now, through this comparison, the more desires are formed. Now that you are able to analyze and compare, you want something specific. Now, when you want something, you seek it, you ask for it, you want it, you beg for it. And of course, these kind of things another human cannot give you, unless you take certain desperate measures which are inhumane. But who can you ask for? You start to look upwards. And in that process, the mind creates hope. And the mind names that hope as God. Now you understand that you alone cannot achieve all of that the mind has created. Something would give it to you. Something should, because you are entitled. The other person received it. You should as well. Now the other person received it. You should as well, but you don't receive that. So mind creates something else. Development of who you are as a person and how worthy you are. I want that position that the other person has, but I'm not able to get it in a timeline that I wanted. So either I'm unlucky, either the world is against me, or I'm just unworthy. Now the mind gets completely attached to this dance, because through that unworthy, the movement would continue. Now, either you would seek more hope, you would seek something else, you want to do something else. Now you want to control. The mind is so attached, consumed, corrupted, that now it wants to control the entire movement. Something has to be there. Either more effort, more hope, a stronger desire. Now your mind is now running like a horse that cannot see anywhere else but only forward, chasing a desire that it has only created inside through comparison, through all of this bullshit. And we forget that even to take birth, even to feel this existence, even to feel alive, you had no choice. People who gave birth to you also had no choice to be born. And the chain continues, so on and so forth. So the life has been flowing without anybody's choice. So for once, step out of that movement, step out of that circle, and for once see that you are the whole existence yourself. If to come into this world was choiceless, was so calculated beyond your desire of, I want to take birth, you are here, and how you look, you didn't choose. How you sound, you did not choose. To an extent, how you think, you cannot choose. What nationality you belong to, you did not choose. Well, initially. Something that you associate yourself with. So, the most profound factors of life, you did not choose them. So, the existent or the existence more like gifted you all of this because it did not ask. So, we need to understand that we need to stop asking. Existence has a lot of gifts that it wants to give, but your desires are blocking the space, as if you have one bag and that bag can be filled with gifts. But you're like, no. Before you even wait for the life to give you or gift you something, you already block that space with your desires. So, what's happening is the root cause of it, the fear, is not allowing you to trust in the flow of life. And I'm not talking about where people say that, yes, I am miserable, but I have faith in the God that it will relieve me of this misery. That's hope. And we already talked about it. Hope is another creation of fear. Belief, trust, surrender is completely something else. It is the surrender of the mind. It is the surrender which has nothing more but gratitude that whatever you have, you did not choose and it doesn't belong to you. You are not the one who created you. The surrender is to surrender against the belief that you're not a creation of existence, you are existence. It's not like something created you and left for you to figure it out. The creation still exists through you, wanting you to experience in the most absolute unique manner. There was nobody like you before you. There was nobody who's going to be after you like you. And if that doesn't make you feel special, unique, a magic, a gift of existence itself, then you need to knock your mind and get out of it. Belief requires no effort. Most of you, to fulfill a desire, are practicing belief because you want to fulfill a desire of becoming something else, becoming somebody else. Manifestations. Belief requires no effort because what you want to believe in, you are already. You want to believe that life will take care of you. Well, life has been taking care of you right in this moment, or else you would have been dead. The mindset that God itself flows through you is the abundance mindset. The abundance mindset is not hope that something good will happen, although now I am in deepest misery, but something good will happen. So, okay, I'm practicing an abundance mindset. Stop fooling yourself. I hope it reaches to someone who would really benefit from listening to it. And I hope it helps you. I hope it gives you a nudge that we all truly need to appreciate the smallest thing in life, as small as you are breathing. Again, not without your choice, but the act of breathing itself is beautiful because a choiceless, continuous movement allows you to be alive. So take a moment and just be grateful that you can. Take care, and I hope we become better as a society.